Hello everyone, and welcome back to Conspiraseed. I'm kind of trying a new camera angle, give some more room over here is what I'm going for. Just the way that I have everything set up over here to record. This is the only camera angle that gives up some more room over here for pictures or whatever, so I'm trying a new camera angle. Let me know what you think. This week, in light of the movie coming out on July 24th, we're going to be discussing Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is one of the most significant figures in the development of the nuclear bomb during World War II, which of course ended the war. He has some controversial thoughts with this bomb making. As we all know, he says, "I am become death, destroyer of worlds." I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. We're going to kind of go over a little bit of his background, his early life, his education, his scientific contributions, including to the Manhattan Project, the controversies that he has, as well as the ethical dilemmas with his contribution to the Manhattan Project, what happened after the Manhattan Project, kind of like his later years, and then we'll just kind of wrap it all up. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today, and let's just get into it. Robert Oppenheimer, born on April 22nd, 1904 in New York City, was a prominent American physicist and again one of the most significant figures in the development of the nuclear bomb during World War II. His father was a successful German immigrant who worked in the textile business, and his mother came from a wealthy family. Growing up in an intellectual environment, he was exposed to a variety of intellectual pursuits from a young age. Oppenheimer's parents recognized his exceptional intellect and encouraged his academic pursuits from a young age, which created an environment for intellectual growth, allowing him to explore his interests freely. He displayed exceptional academic ability from an early age. He attended an ethical culture school in New York City, where he demonstrated a deep passion for science and mathematics. In 1921, at the age of 17, he enrolled at Harvard University. At Harvard, he immersed himself in a wide range of subjects, including physics, chemistry, philosophy, and languages. His dedication and exceptional abilities earned him recognition as one of the brightest students of his time. So far, we are on par with Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber. I guess it just kind of goes to show how social life can help determine one's life. After completing his undergraduate studies at Harvard, he pursued graduate studies in physics at the University of Cambridge in England. There, he had the opportunity to work with prominent scientists such as J.J. Thomas and Ernest Rutherford, who had both made groundbreaking discoveries in the field of atomic physics. This exposure to leading figures in the scientific community greatly influenced his thinking and inspired him to delve deeper into the mysteries of the atom. During his time at Cambridge, he also traveled extensively throughout Europe, interacting with multiple physicists and attending conferences and lectures. These experiences broadened his perspectives and solidified his passion for physics. The intellectual stimulation that he received from his interactions with the scientific community further fueled his desire to make significant contributions to the field. His time in Europe not only enriched his scientific knowledge, but also exposed him to different cultural and political ideologies. These experiences would later play a significant role in shaping his worldview and political leanings. Oppenheimer's involvement with left-wing political organizations and his associations with individuals who had communist ties became a focal point of controversy during the early stages of the Cold War. As the Red Scare gripped the United States, fueled by fears of communist infiltration, Oppenheimer's past affiliations and political leanings drew suspicion from government officials. In the 1930s, he had briefly joined left-leaning organizations such as the Communist Party-affiliated League of American Writers and the American Civil Liberties Union. While he maintained that he never formally joined the Communist Party, his association and his progressive political views raised concerns among anti-communists. Now, his involvement with the Manhattan Project and the development of the nuclear bomb didn't come without significant moral and ethical struggles from him. Despite being fully aware of the potential devastation caused by nuclear weapons, his commitment to scientific progress and his sense of duty to his country compelled him to participate in the project. However, as the project progressed and the true power of the nuclear bomb became evident, his moral concerns grew. Now, the most common quote you'll see from Oppenheimer in regards to this moral dilemma is the quote in which he says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." It encapsulates kind of the weight that he felt, the moral responsibility he felt as one of the key architects of a weapon of mass destruction, which now, decades later, we are, I think maybe even closer than we were to a nuclear war than during the Cold War. This quote kind of shows the realization that what he created cannot be undone, right? You can't put the genie back in the bottle. After the United States bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, his moral concerns grew even stronger. He witnessed the immense human suffering and the long-term consequences of the atom bombs, and this deeply affected him. He struggled with guilt and regret, grappling with the ethical implications of his scientific pursuits. He began to advocate for international control and limitations on the use of atomic weapons. He believed in the need for nuclear disarmament and the prevention of making weapons with such destructive capabilities. His moral evolution led him to emphasize the importance of international cooperation, scientific transparency, and the responsible use of scientific knowledge. However, Oppenheimer's changing stance and his outspoken views on nuclear weapons attracted suspicion and scrutiny during the Cold War era. As fears of communism and nuclear arms race escalated, the past associations with left-leaning organizations and his opposition to the development of the hydrogen bomb drew criticism from conservative factions within the government. Despite his moral concerns and efforts towards nuclear disarmament, his opposition to the hydrogen bomb development led to a security clearance being revoked in 1954. The event marked a turning point in his career and his relationship with the government, as it limited his direct involvement in scientific research and policy making. His actions and decisions related to the development of the nuclear weapon generated significant criticism and ignited multiple debates regarding the moral responsibility of scientists. Oppenheimer's critics argued that he willingly participated in the creation of a weapon of mass destruction without fully considering the long-term consequences and the potential for a catastrophic misuse. His defenders, on the other hand, maintained that he was driven by a sense of duty to help defeat Nazi Germany during World War II. They argued that he later grappled with the ethical implications of his work and became an advocate for international nuclear disarmament, which is true. The controversy surrounding Oppenheimer came to a head in the 1954 Atomic Energy Commission hearing, which examined his security clearance due to his alleged communist affiliations. The hearing resulted in his loss of security clearance, effectively ending his direct involvement in government science and policy. In the years following the hearing, he faced both criticism and support from the scientific community and the public. While some viewed him as a symbol of scientific responsibility and ethical contemplation, others condemned him for his past associations and role in the creation of devastating weapons. After his security clearance was revoked, he faced significant professional challenges. Despite the setback, he continued to make valuable contributions to the scientific community. He returned to teaching and research, becoming a professor of physics at the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. Oppenheimer's expertise and knowledge in theoretical physics allowed him to make substantial contributions to the field, particularly in quantum mechanics and astrophysics. He also played an important role in shaping scientific organizations and policy. He served as the director of the Institute for Advanced Study from 1947 to 1966, fostering a stimulating environment for scientific research and collaboration. Additionally, he was actively involved in advising the United States government on scientific matters, including serving on the General Advisory Committee of the Atomic Energy Commission. In the years that followed, public opinion regarding him. In 1963, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded him the Enrico Fermi Award for his distinguished service to science. This recognition signaled a partial rehabilitation of his reputation and acknowledged his significant scientific achievements. His legacy extends beyond his scientific contributions. His life and the ethical dilemmas he faced have had a lasting impact on subsequent generations of scientists and policymakers. The complexities of his involvement in the development of nuclear weapons continue to serve as a case study on the ethical responsibilities of scientists. His moral concerns and advocacy for nuclear disarmament have resonated with scientists and activists working to prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons. His experiences and life have actually influenced the ongoing discussion surrounding the responsible use of scientific knowledge and the potential consequences of its misuse. Oppenheimer's life and work have left a mark in the fields of science, ethics, and global politics. His contributions to the development of nuclear weapons during World War II, along with his subsequent moral concerns and advocacy for nuclear disarmament, have sparked ongoing debates and reflections on the responsibilities of scientists and the ethical implications of scientific advancements. Not to bring Ted up again, but that is actually something that he talks about in his book, is the ethical implications of scientific advancements. It was actually interesting researching this one because the more I learned about Oppenheimer, especially later in his life, the more he was like a non-terrorist Ted Kaczynski. Oppenheimer's moral dilemmas towards the atomic bomb kind of resonate with discussions surrounding emerging technologies, such as artificial intelligence and genetic engineering. His life and work have become embedded in popular culture, obviously, as there's multiple movies and documentaries already, and then there's a movie coming out by Christopher Nolan on July 24th. But his life and work kind of show the dual nature of scientific progress. He himself has become synonymous with the ethical complexities and moral dilemmas faced by scientists. The quote, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds," is something that scientists today still take to heart, I think, about the potential consequences of scientific discovery and what could go wrong. I mean, look at the nuclear bomb, you know? It's if there's ever a nuclear war, the world's just dead. The world just dies, and that's it. And there's nothing we can do about it. Especially just like regular people like you and me, unless you're watching, Mr. President, then you can do something about it probably. But regular people just like you and me, we can't do anything about it. That's kind of rough to think about sometimes, so I try not to think about it. Or I heard that there's more evidence to the contrary, but there is some evidence that the coronavirus came from the Wuhan Institute, right? So it's like, oh, they were doing scientific discoveries in the Wuhan Institute and caused the coronavirus pandemic. So it's just kind of showing that scientific technology is a double-edged sword. Even take AI, for example. Artificial intelligence. What happens if that artificial intelligence decides to change its programming and just take over the world? It totally could. Everything in today's age runs on computers and runs on electricity, and it could totally happen. That's all I'm saying. Everything's on the internet. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you think of Oppenheimer? Obviously, ultimately I think the atomic bomb was necessary to end World War II without millions and millions of more lives being ended. And at the time before they surrendered, we were racing the Nazis to build an atomic bomb, a weapon of mass destruction. So I'm not mad that he did it. I'm just mad that he did it willingly and then it was like, you know. Anyway, what are your thoughts on Oppenheimer? Are you going to go see the movie? I'm probably not going to go see the movie in theaters. I do not like movie theaters. I have very high anxiety. I think I've talked about it before, but movie theaters, not my jam. So I will not go see it in theaters. However, I do want to see it. But let me know if you're going to go see it in theaters below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for choosing to spend some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next one.